Alright, shalom, all praises be unto Yahweh, Shem Yahshai, Bashar Kakadash. Double honor unto the elder apostles, the elder bishops at Great Millstone, who are well taught us his truth. Salutes unto all the sincere I came out there pushing the word in truth and in sincerity. It's just going to be a quick hit. And it's pretty much dealing with, temperance. The spirit is having it come out a lot. How we are to control our diets and things of that nature. And Lord will, I can do some more videos on that. But in this quick hit, I just want to focus on the fact that there is a level of autonomy and control that we do have over what you essentially put in your mouth. Now we know that we're living in a ever wicked kingdom, increasing in wickedness day by day, but there are still certain things we can do, to mitigate certain negative side effects, especially where it concerns food. To date, nobody's forced, your mouth ain't, this ain't the slave ships, you're not chained down in shackles on the slave ships, your teeth ain't getting busted out your mouth or, smashed out, your teeth ain't getting shattered out your mouth and slop is being poured down your throat so you can stay alive until you reach the place of your where you're gonna serve slavery. That time's kind of done. Now we have autonomy to go to particular shops, and things of that nature. And basically what you put in your mouth is by your right hand, by my right hand. So we can all improve in that regard. But as I said, I want to give an example of how our forefather, Prophet Daniel, actually purposed in his heart, which is the point of this lesson. What you put in your mouth, what I put in my mouth is a active decision. All right. So this is the book of Daniel chapter 1, and I'm going to start from verse 3, and it says, "And the king spake unto Athinias, the master of the eunuchs, that he should bring certain of the children of Israel, sons of Israel, and of the king's seed, and of the princes, children in whom was no blemish, but well favored, and skillful in all wisdom, and cunning in knowledge, and understanding science, such as had ability in them to stand in the king's palace, whom they might teach the learning and the tongue of the Chaldees." So let's just read, the first part of that verse again. Children or sons in whom was no blemish. Okay, because blemishes come, from a number of things, but it can be highly inspired by foods, man. You look at these other nations, for example, Moabites. A lot of Moabites have terrible skin, huge pus pores and inflammation on the surface of the skin, which affects the smell of an individual. You got some people that they're into perfume, and cologne and things of that nature. And have you ever smelt a good cologne smell very bad on a person? You'd think, what the hell is that? Did they add something to the cologne or no? Where it concerns especially should I say natural sense. It actually works off of the pH of a person's body. So especially if you're into ouds and musks and things of that nature, it will smell slightly different on every individual because everyone's got a slightly different pH. All right. But some people have no business wearing cologne or perfume. they need to invest in soap and water. But then it goes further than soap and water. They need to invest in their stomach, okay? Because these smells, these toxins is built up from what you eat, from what we eat. And that affects your skin, that affects the pH of the body, okay? That affects gut health. It affects all the functions of your major bodily organs, and then it's expressed in your skin, okay? Smelling musty all the time, looking puffed up. I say puffed up, like puffy skin, like inflammation on the skin, like there's an extra layer, you know, extremely oily, and then pussy pores, and all that nonsense. Yeah, because it goes back to food. So people think, oh, it's a hygiene issue. A lot of the time, it's a dietary issue. Okay, so it says children in whom was no blemish, and these defects weren't there. Why? Because it went back to their food. Well favored and skillful in all wisdom. Okay, and there's one thing having wisdom, but then it's the application thereof. But to even attain it, to have a sharp mind, that goes back to food. You eat these foods that these fast foods and all that nonsense that's out there today. It clogs your brain. It gives you brain fog. You can't remember things. You even the scriptures. I'm not gonna go there, but the scriptures speak about in the seventh cogitation, the Lord giveth them speech. There's a lot of the times you have things in your mind, but then your tongue isn't moving fast enough. Now there's times where that happens out of excitement, because you're so eager to get the point out. But then there's people that actually suffer with, I know what's in my head, but I can't get it out, because the relation between the signals between the brain sending that information to be pronounced with the tongue is highly compromised, man. Okay? Because everything is neurons, man. In the medical term, it's called ENT, ears, nose, and throat. Those organs are all, well, those functions, I should say, are all connected. And this isn't medical advice. And it connects to the brain. So if the brain is, you can have fog on the brain, candida on the brain, inflammation on the brain, that slows you down. Okay? So even if, it's going to make it very hard to be skillful in the application of wisdom and attaining it and even understanding it, because it goes back to the diet, and it says, and cunning in knowledge and understanding science, and such as had ability in them to stand. And a lot of the time, Jake, and especially growing up in the school system, I cast my mind back to that, and a lot of Jake thought they were silly. They couldn't understand particular topics, mathematics, chemistry, physics. And when you check it, Jake isn't silly. It's two things. Jake has got a low self-esteem because nobody ever told them they can achieve. And number two, Jake has a rubbish diet. I actually experienced that myself. I realized there was a time when back in school, man, I cut out fizzy drinks, and this was actually in college, university. I actually only had, and I mean, you could say it's a bit over righteous, fair enough, but I only drank tea and water for a whole year. I cut out, I used to drink a lot of nonsense. I had a few cheat days. If I went out somewhere, I'd have a drink, like, an alcoholic beverage, some yayan or something. But my staple was water and tea. I'd have tea in the morning, healthy teas and that. And all I drank was water. And I did that for the best part of just underneath a year. And I realized that my brain was ticking faster. But when you're drinking all these sugary beverages, these fizzy drinks, man, that's what clogs you up, man. Okay? So Jake ain't dumb. Jake just got a rubbish diet, okay? But Edom doesn't teach how diet is connected to brain function, how diet is connected to the ability to process information. They just make it seem, well, you're set one, you're set two, you're gifted and talented, or you're not so smart, or your ability to regurgitate information. Nah, man, the Lord didn't make us stupid. The Lord made us a capable people. but we've been disconnected from the things that help the body to be connected. Okay, it's like putting the socket in the phone charger in the socket, but if you don't connect the phone won't charge. Jake ain't connected, man. But through Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai and returning unto wisdom, we've been reconnected onto the ancient ways, and we're getting back. And spirit is heavy, dealing with the diet right now, man. Okay. And it says, and the king in verse 5. 1 second. Okay. And it says, right, still working. And it says in verse 5, and the king appointed them a daily provision of the king's meat and of the wine which he drank, so nourishing them 3 years, that at the end thereof they may stand before the king. Now, people that, they say rich man's diet and that, a lot of fatty foods, because it speaks about meat. When the scriptures speak about meat, it's not just talking about like chicken, lamb, and all of that stuff. It means food that is good. So you could have a lot of pastries, Jake are into pastries, the dainties. The scriptures speak about that, excess of actual meat, eating too much chicken, too much lamb, beef, things of that nature, but when you're rich, you can kind of lose yourself with that diet and just be indulging in the things that taste good because you've got the financial means to put that on your plate. But just because you have the financial means to put that on your plate doesn't mean that it's the best thing for your body. Now it says, now among these were the children of Judah, Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, unto whom the prince of the eunuchs gave names. For he gave unto Daniel the name Belshazzar, and unto Hananiah Shadrach, and unto Mishael of Meshach, and unto Azariah Abednego. So the Babylonian names, and it says, but Daniel purposed in his heart that he would not defile, so like, man, I was tripping. I just had to stop myself from making a real poor joke there. Verse 8, but Daniel purposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with the portion of the king's meat, because that's how we have to look at it. We have to look at these, and I'm draw the parallels of, the account we're reading of our ancient forefathers, Hananiah, Mishael, Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah. Draw the parallels to today, man. You be eating them fast foods or things, drinking them bullshit ass drinks and things of that nature, right? You got to see it as I've got to see it as well as defiling our bodies, man. Now again, there's a level of over righteousness that we can't, delve into, because everything is tampered with. We don't have farms, we don't control the production line, we don't know these, we just go and buy stuff in it. But there's the best of the worst, and essentially that's what we should be aiming for, because everything's tampered with, the water's tampered with, but what can we do? But the point is, with an active a desire for better, with first and foremost prayer, the Lord will come through for us, man. So Daniel was like, nah, man, I ain't, nah, and it's not to say every single thing that the king had was bad, but he would have assessed it. The proportions are wrong. They're eating all the time. They're not fasting. They're not abstaining. The proportions on the plate are wrong. The preparation of the food, and that's another reason why Jake gets sick. Preparation. Jake don't know how to store food, man. Jake be getting stomach bugs and throwing up and shit. And it's like, trying to put rice in the fridge that's still warm, and then the next day you're wondering why you're on the toilet. And bro, Jake got to learn, and maintain how to store food properly, man. What needs to be kept at certain temperatures, what needs to be in the fridge, what can't be in the fridge, what can't be reheated. You reheating a meal, like, you doing it in a microwave. That's crazy. And if you look in the plate of a microwave, those three Hobbs signs is actually the sign of radiation. You know, a lot of people don't realize that. So they're telling you, yeah, you know, we're heating up your food in 2 or 3 minutes, but we're radiating the shit out of it. And then you go and put that in your mouth. What are you putting in your body? You know, what are we putting in our bodies, man? So Daniel didn't just look at the food itself. He assessed everything, and he was like, nah, if I indulge in this kind of, I'm gonna be defiled, man. I'm gonna get fucked up. You know, my head's not gonna be clear anymore. My skin is gonna have blemishes. You know, I'm gonna be thinking slow. My vibration's gonna be diminished. I can't be doing that. You know. So it says, nor with the wine which he drank thereof he requested of the prince of the eunuchs that he might not defile himself. Okay. Now the Most High had brought Daniel into favor and tender love with the prince of the eunuchs. And the prince of the eunuchs said unto Daniel, I fear my lord the king, who hath appointed your meat and your drink. For why should he see your face worse, likening the children which are of your sort? Then shall he make me endanger my head to the king. Then said Daniel to Melzar, whom the prince of the eunuchs had set over Daniel, Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, prove thy servants, I beseech thee, 10 days, okay, and let them give us pulse to eat and water to drink, because it takes about 7 to 10 days for the body to actively let you know that something is working or not, you know. So in 10 days is enough to show forth, you know, if this is good or bad. Now he said, give us a pulse to eat. You know, pulses are what? Vegetables and grains, man. You know, various nuts, grains, vegetables, and water. And of course, back then, the water was of a better quality than it is now, you know. So you're talking about hydration, you know. And that's not to say you can't drink other drinks. You know, as I said, brothers drink teas, brothers drink yayan. You know, even the elder apostles gave us advice, man. You know, if you're drinking yayan and it's a bit too strong, you can add some water to it. You know, elder apostle Ricard been saying that, man. You know, you can if you crave, and we all have cravings. Let's not go over righteous. You may crave. I was telling a brother yesterday. We was in the car on the way to the Passat, and we're talking about food, man. And you know, I said, you know, sometimes you may crave a fizzy drink. You can make your own fizzy drink, but that one is healthy, man. You know, one thing that I'm on right now is pomegranate juice. You know, you squeeze the pomegranate, and then I add tonic water to it, man, and it kind of tastes like a fizzy drink, man. I mean, not all the way, but the point is, you make your own. You know, you make replacements for the bad shit, you know, that we used to consume. You can make your own burgers, you know, and things of that nature, man. Okay, and if I'm not gonna do it now, but you could go online and look at the health benefits of pomegranate, you know. But then again, the fluid intake, we have to have a lot of water, you know. Okay, you know, the blood is made from water. Okay, the scriptures say that the life is in the blood. So if we're not hydrating ourselves, and people try and cheat, oh yeah, well I have tea, so it's technically water. Yeah, okay, you could look at it that way, but you've manipulated it. There's even a way to drink water. You guzzle it down. It's just going to go straight to your bladder and out. There's a way to drink water, just like your yarn. You don't just guzzle your yarn down. You'll be off your head in 2 seconds. Your yarn is a drink that has to, you have to sip it, you know, for it to not knock you off, as Benjamin saying, lick you off your head straight away. It's the same thing with water. Sometimes you need to take down a big set of water. But if you really want to hydrate your cells, you really want to be sipping water continually. Not just down a whole 1.5 litre bottle, that's enough now. You're just going to piss it out. It's not going to go to your cells, because you're going to overstimulate your body and your blood, and it's going to be like, whoa, this is too much in one go. And your body rushes to process it and piss it out. Then you wonder why you're still tired, and your cells aren't hydrated. Because it's not just about what we eat, it's about how we eat. It's about how we drink. Water's to be sipped continually, not just guzzled down in one. And I mean, if you're really hot and you guzzle some water down, that's understandable. But we're talking about day-to-day hydration. You want to be sipping continually. That's how you hydrate the cells, man. Okay? So it's about what we eat and how we eat, you know? Sometimes you got to fast, intermittent fasting, man. Things of that nature. So Daniel was like, nah, man, give us the pulses, which is the vegetables, the nuts, the grains, and water, man. Okay? Then let our countenance be looked upon before thee, and the countenance of the children that eat the portion of the king's meat. And as thou seest, deal with thy servants. So Daniel was confident, man. Listen, man. Hey, I know you're worried about what the king's gonna think, but just give it 10 days, man. I'm gonna show you something. Compare me to them, compare us to them, and we're gonna see who looks better at the end of 10 days. Okay? And it says, and at the end of 10 days, their countenance appeared fairer and fatter. And when it says fairer, in modern day, people think fair skin is light skin. That's a Benjamite thing. That's no. When it says fairer, it means more comely, more beautiful. Where it concerns a man, more handsome. Okay, looks better. Okay, so the skin looked literally better. At the end of the 10 days, their countenance, which means the appearance of their face and body, appeared fairer and fatter in flesh. Okay, because you've got pussy fat, which we spoke about earlier, which is negative because of the foods you're putting in your body, or chemicals, I should say. But then you've got collagen fat. I believe it's collagen, all right, which gives the skin its elasticity. That's why people, what do you call it, man? They, people wrinkle up, with age. The people's skin wrinkles because over time the body loses collagen, so the skin no longer has its elasticity and it becomes dried out. But that can be that process is oftentimes sped up with people that lack melanin, and also that people that have a poor diet. So when it says fatter in where's that, verse 15, and fatter in flesh, it means that their skin had a glow. The collagen made their skin elastic, meaning that their faces looked youthful. All right? Because when you eat correct over a period of time, you give off a positive energy, but you also look youthful. You begin to shine. Okay? So that's what it was in the flesh. And it says, than all the children which did eat the portion of the king's meat, indulging in too much wine, indulging in too much actual meats and dainties and sweets. That makes you look dreary. That slows down your mental capability, and it also deteriorates how you physically look. So it's about a balance. Okay? So it says, thus Melzar took away the portion of their meat and the wine that they should drink and gave them pulse. So I'm going to end it there, man. Like I said, there's a lot more we could go into, but I just wanted to highlight the point that, we have a choice. Like I said, I gave the example. We're not on a slave ship anymore. Okay, we're in captivity, but we're not on physical slave ships. We're not in physical shackles where a hammer or a chisel would be used to knock your teeth out and pour something down your throat so you stay alive to reach the land where you would serve captivity. We decide to a degree what we put in our mouth and eat and digest. We may not produce these foods, and yes, a lot of them are GMOs and all of that stuff, but there are better options out there. And ultimately, what you use your right hand to put in your mouth and eat is up to you. It's up to me. Daniel didn't just say, oh, well, it's coming from the king. And the king isn't an ordinary man. The king is the king. That's the top dude. So Daniel was like, hey, listen, man, I don't care if he's the top dude. I'm refusing his food because it's not going to be any good for me. I'm going to request something that would be more beneficial to my mind and body. Okay? So we can make better choices with what we do when it concerns our diet. You don't have to eat McDonald's. You don't have to eat KFC, Subway, Taco Bell, Five Guys. You don't have, hey, man, if you're talking with the brothers, sometimes a demon may come on you and, you fall, and you have some bullshit. And then when you have the bullshit, it's like your own stomach cuts you. It's like, I didn't even need that, you know, because it was the demon of the taste buds rather than what the stomach or the body actually desires and needs, man. Babe, but if you fall, you get back up, you know. And that's not to say you don't eat out whatsoever. You know, we eat out at high-end spots, man. you know, if I'm gonna eat, I was telling the brothers, if I'm gonna eat out at a high-end spot, man, or go to a Mediterranean spot where they cook the food properly. But all these fast food junk restaurants, man, we shouldn't be doing that, man. You know, you decide, I decide what you put in your mouth and eat, man. You know, so I myself personally, this new biblical year, you know, we're in the Feast of Unleavened Bread, rolls straight in after the Passover, the Passover begins that. So it's a good time to, another one of the brothers said it's a good time to readjust your diet because, we're not eating the leaven, the yeast right now. Readjust them taste buds and, continue on as we mean to go, man. But yeah, we got to look after ourselves. So anyways, with that, I'm gonna wrap it up there. Lord, when it was straight to the point and edifying, all praises be unto Yahweh Hashem Yahshai Bashem Kakadash, man. And catch you brothers, in the next show, man. Shalom.